Hey y'all, would-be farmer here. Crescent City, Florida, halfway between Orlando and Jacksonville. I was just rereading, or actually to be more accurate, listening and watching the book by Peter Wohlleben, a German forest worker, forest scientist perhaps, forester, whatever. The book is called The Hidden Life of Trees, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. But anyway, I wanted to go out and look at the trees and try to share some of the information I have gleaned from this book. This is it's amazing what I have learned listening to this audio book, listening and reading at the same time. I found it on YouTube. How the trees are connected. Trees are connected via their root systems. And if the roots don't directly connect with each other, there's a network of what is called mycorrhizal fungi. And I believe rhizo in Greek means root, and myco or myco means fungus. So it's mycorrhizal fungi, which is root fungus, or fungus root fungi, which is kind of redundant, but it's also kind of a neat emphasis. So I have these old oaks out here, these mature oaks. And the idea is that their roots connect either directly, they're intertwined and chemically, and at times growing together, which is what I understand. So you have to ask the question, then, is it one organism? Is it a multi-organism? And I've also read that you can have different DNA, different genetic material on different branches of the same tree. So maybe the definition of individual or organism needs to be modified, as any good science is willing to do once new information is available. But all the questions I have about trees are being answered. And it's just fascinating. It is fascinating how these trees communicate with each other chemically. They will vary their chemical transmissions based on activity. For example, there is science now that shows that trees can detect a difference in the saliva of predators on their leaves. What do we have here? Oh, that looks like an orb weaver right there. So I'm going to have to change my path here. This is why it's good to never run through the forest. If you run through the forest might just run through you. So I'm going to take a little sideways move around Mr. Orb Weaver or Miss Orb Weaver, whatever the case. And we'll try not to disturb that habitat. But the tree will vary its chemical transmissions based on the saliva of the pest that is eating its leaves, that is chewing on its leaves or its bark. And so that is to protect the rest of the tree, and in some cases it even exudes a toxin so that the bugs go, oh, I've had enough here, I'm moving on. And not only that, these trees can pick up this information from other trees. I had to play that one a couple of times when I read that slant, heard that. That these trees pick up information from other trees. They even transmit aerosols at some point that other trees will catch, so they don't even have it. I gotta keep reading this stuff because this is mind-blowing. So anyway, they exude substances through their roots, carbohydrates, because we know the photosynthesis takes the heat energy of the sun, the radiation, right? Pulls carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, as well as nitrogen, makes its own food, makes carbohydrates, so carbon dioxide with the sun, chemical response, produces carbohydrates, which exudes through its roots to provide food, to provide simple sugars to microbes and other organisms, biota in the soil. It also uses that food for itself. It's just amazing. The trees. And there's science that shows that some of these trees can change their transmission of chemicals based on the saliva of different pests, and they can differentiate the saliva. They can transmit information, either chemically through their roots, which are connected to mycorrhizal fungi networks that are picked up by other trees. And this is not just the trees that are their own species or their own relatives. This is mind-blowing stuff. So anyone who wants to open a book and open the door to some more knowledge on trees, check it out. The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben, and I think it's Wohlleben, perhaps. My mind is blown. I'm going to read this several more times, but that's it for me. I'm out.